now.
Awesome. Thank you
you.
so much. Sorry to interrupt. Thanks so
No
much.
worries. Sure.
All right, we'll see you.
Hope everybody feels better.
Thanks.
I love those reminders. Okay, hold on. I don't think this is more right. All right, my camera was twisted. Hilarious. Okay, welcome everyone. Let's start drawing. Did everybody have a nice week? Thumbs up. Hey Noah. Simone, Sebastian, Madeline, everybody's here. Stacy is coming today, believe it or not, but she was out getting gas. Okay, so I have I've been cleaning. My parents are moving houses, and I've had like a lot of stuff from my childhood, just like lingering in like boxes and things. So I cleared out this this bag. I didn't choose any of these things. They just were like my mom found them, but they are from when I was really young. And I'm thinking I'm gonna throw them away. But I also want to like make them into something like productive. So I thought we would maybe sketch them as like a warm up today. Maybe like set the timer for like 5 minutes so I can talk about some like sketching concepts. And they're kind of funny, actually. Hopefully we don't get too entrenched in any one of them. Let's see. Hello. Hey, Sebastian, I can see your face now. Cool. I'm trying to go to the grid view, but it won't let me. Okay, so these should be kind of fun. Fun and funny, which is not a losing combination. Let me get this in line. So I don't know if you need any colored pencils. I think I'm just going to start with regular graphite pencil. And then I do think I am going to set the timer so I don't get too wrapped up. And then I have a project that I'm working on. It's illustrating a children's book for someone in the family, and it has a lot of bears in it. So I've been studying really high-end bear illustrations, specifically for children's books. So I thought maybe we would break down some bears in some fun, playful, but also very competent, sketches. So I'm thinking some warm-ups, take a tour through just random objects from my childhood, and some techniques, and then hopefully get into some more interesting and high-level bear drawings. Does that sound good? Cool. This week was amazing. We got kind of this new, it's like the new moon today or last night. So it's like new month, new moon, kind of almost like a new year. I feel like we're moving into some fresh territory. So I'm excited to, do that, artistically at least.
Tomorrow's Chinese New Year.
Oh, really? Yeah, that would, I mean, are they on a lunar calendar? They must be, at least pretty close to a lunar calendar. Yeah, I think last night was the new moon. One was at its most in most alignment with the sun or whatever. It's interesting. Lunar cycles are, I feel very, I feel very, connected to that. Like at least I'm very aware when there is a full moon. I always like lose sleep on the full moon. That's what first kind of set me off to it. And then, calendars being 30 days, of course, and then 2 weeks from, new moon to full moon. It's just an interesting way to break down time, on this particular planet. All right, timing. I'm gonna set it for 5 minutes. Maybe we need more. We'll see. We'll see how 5 minute feels. Setting the timer for drawing objects kind of forces you to just get into like more of a like a high pace type of, like, you know, you don't have all the time in the world, and it keeps you from getting into ruts. And it's a good way to start the day. And I have noticed that when I teach this class in particular, I'm like, you know, I feel like the teaching's pretty good, but then when I teach the kids after this, the classes are like, you know, like I'm all warmed up, like I'm already like rearing to go. And so I feel like the younger kids get like somewhat of a better class because I'm warmed up like on the week and from the day with you guys. So I was thinking maybe we should even like switch it one of these times and have like the younger kids come first. So it's just like, you don't, it's like, this is the first thing I do all week and you have to get warmed up. All right. I've been lining these up. These are actually really kind of funny. And like, please do not let them, let these things reflect upon me, because these are not like cherished objects. These are just random things that my mom found that she thought I might like want. And I don't have, I don't have any emotional connections to any of them, unfortunately, because there's definitely stuff that I cared about. I mean, this is a magnet. I just found a magnet. That is so random. So random. Oh my God, this is great. The one thing I wanted to draw, I can't find it. There it is. Okay, cool. Sweet. All right, let's start this thing up. This is gonna be hilarious. Okay. And I might, this first object is kind of small, so I might have to draw it larger. All right, and like I said, this is not any reflection upon me. Can you see that little guy? I think he came off of a keychain. Hold on. There it is. Oh my. So it is a present toting. He's at a weird angle. I want to straighten them up. I guess it's a teddy bear who's carrying a bag of Christmas gifts, wearing a holly. Oh my, I'm into this. Okay, on your marks, get set. Sorry, don't go yet. Don't go. All right, go. 5 minutes. So he's got a head. He's got a snout, which is an oval. He's got a little nose. Cute little smile. Strange how the smile is like in the middle of that oval and not below. Interesting. He's got these two little button eyes. There we go. There's some holly and some holly berries. Oh, holly berry. Oh my gosh, I never made that connection. Holly Berry. First name, last name. Do you guys know the actress? I feel stupid now. There is one ear that has an inner circle and then an outer circle. And then the hat takes place on the other side. There's a white trim, and that I think is overlapped by the puffball. And then we have to make the body of the hat bend into the little, if anybody knows the history, I actually ordered some nightcaps, and I didn't, like, a bunch of the nightcaps come, let me draw them here. They look like this, like from, you know, like like, why are nightcaps like triangular like that and come to a point? Like, where did that even come from? And Kristen was saying that it might have come from the, like the night before Christmas or whatever, like that story, I in my cap, but I mean, it had to have come before that. I don't know. I just don't know why it's like that. Okay, I am going to add some shading, but I got to get these arms in here. There's an arm, and then there's a fist. So simple. And then a fist, and then an arm below. You could probably, if you wanted to, you could add some paws, some like fingertips, just to show that those are hands. And then the bag is being pulled tight, and then it's pulling, there's all the packages that are in this bag that he's attempting to throw over his shoulder. Cool. I guess he's got a green shirt on. That's fine. Green shirt. He's got this little, like the part of his belly that is usually covered up by shorts, but it's a little teddy bear. So it's just his belly and then his legs. And then he does, in fact, have some toes on his bare feet. I didn't even know that. Do you think it's a bear? It's got to be a bear. Has to be a bear. I didn't choose this having anything to do with the bear, but even though the rest of the theme of the class, that was just a coincidence. There's this wonderful ring that happens up here, which I think is where the keychain was, or this could just be like the teeniest little Christmas ornament. I bet you it's an ornament. I bet you it's a teeny Christmas ornament. A little hook in there. I bet you it is. All right, I might save this one, put it in the Christmas ornament box. I actually did see I saw this, one of the guys I follow, he's like more of a political guy, but he posted a picture of his Christmas tree and he took hearts and put them all over. And he goes, now I have a Valentine's Day tree. So he didn't have to take the Christmas tree down until February. I was like, that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. All right, this is just fun line work. And, if the light from, you can tell here, like the light from, inside my studio is coming from the upper right. And so you could draw a cast shadow from the package, and then a shadow on his feet. That if you wanted to make it like literal, you could do that. Or if you made him a character, you could put it, make him on the ground. You guys know the idea that you draw a circle, so an oval or an egg, and then the light's coming from here, so you can just like darken the line on the shadow side rather than, or not only rather than, but in addition to adding some shadows. So the bottom of the ear might darken the bottom of the ear, maybe shade a little bit, darken the left side of the face, darken the underside of the wrist on his paw, add some dimension. That was 5 minutes, by the way. So my my goal for this little beginning portion is, and I know that I didn't really talk much about the technical aspects, but now I am kind of getting into it. So once you get this guy down, you can look for where some of those the darker objects are, and you can draw those darker lines indicating shadows. I just added some parallel lines for places that are in shadow. His whole belly, the green shirt part, plus the place, beneath the shirt and above the legs. His little waistband is in shadow. Just like if you get kind of like just squint your eyes and see where it goes dark. Interestingly, the hat doesn't go dark at all, really. I guess, oh no, I guess under the puffball, the bottom of the puffball gets a little bit darker. Okay. Not bad. Ooh, there's like the left side of the leg. That makes sense. That would be the line. The left side of the leg gets darker. Left side of the foot gets darker. The inside of the right leg is a little bit darker. That makes a little sense. I'm just looking for things. I'm just like, I mean, the more you try to draw something, the more you see. And I like the idea of low consequence. If your bear doesn't look very, isn't accurate per se, it's like it doesn't actually matter. This is just a warm up. Okay, cool. You guys ready? I'm gonna give you 30 more seconds to do any finishing touches, then we'll switch over to another object. Okay, yeah, we're gonna do two objects. Oh, that'll be cool. All right, here we go. We'll see if 5 minutes is enough. Okay, object number 2. Let me slide this up. Okay, so and then this is going to be technical. So this is some sort of missile. So it's like a plastic. I don't know if it goes in some kind of gun or something. But I wanted to teach you to do. It's basically silhouette drawing, but you don't use any silhouette lines. So what we're going to try and do is sketch the object through shading, and it's called shadow drawing. So we're going to find, you could do a line in the middle perhaps, but we're going to try and find the silhouette through like straight up shading. Don't try not to draw a silhouette line, and you're going to start thin and just blend out. Start from the center and move out. This is actually a really good exercise for like drawing trees and things. I love drawing trees this way because trees have like a trunk, so you can like start with the trunk, and then you just do the process of shading as it goes out. I forgot to press go. We're not going to need 5 minutes for this. So this one is going to be a silhouette in the sense that we're finding the outside line by shading the inside. So the silhouette line is created by the tone. In the Victorian era drawing book, they call it shadow drawing, but this doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And even, this is interesting too, even drawing this way, you can still go back in. You see how there's like these little details, like there's little, component parts. I'm just looking at this like little interruption that happens. Like you can still go back in and draw. You can draw the drawing, but it's like the initial approach to where you're plotting out the subject by seeing it as a solid object first. It looks like he does have kind of a flat bottom. 2 little fins. So it's mostly a cylinder, and then it flattens out right here at the base. We got, Lord knows, I don't even remember what this is. I think it probably came from some toy. All right, well, maybe even in the same unit. Let's just try. There's this one. This one came from this is like a suction cup gun, like a little cap gun, but it's supposed to stick. I'm going to use this. I'm going to use the same technique actually. Seeing like a triangle. I know it's a cone, but from this angle, it reads like a triangle. I remember how this was a spring loaded. It was spring loaded. I'm not expressly counting the height width ratio. Like if you wanted to, if this is like super important, you could take the width of that suction cup and you measure it and then see how many, widths of the suction cup are in the length of the hole. Could be 3.5, could be 4. I'm just eyeballing it. That's part of the warm up. Sometimes measuring is really important with architecture, and when there's something that's like just super complex, that really matters. And then but you still want to develop the sense of proportion without actually having to like get out something to measure. Oh, interesting. There's this kind of funky shadow. Look at that shadow. Love it. I love there's like that blue glow. This would actually be fun to paint because of the kind of the grayish blue tint transition in the shadow. So I'm trying to get a lighter effect on that shadow than on the suction cup. And I had not originally intended on adjusting the values. I was just going to make it all one solid darkness. That shadow allowed me to kind of see it new with a fresh set of tones. And just because I'm drawing it one way doesn't mean you have to, all of these techniques, like this one I did employ some lines. Here I'm still doing just tone. I guess I did do lines around the shadow. You can always, you almost like want to think about the drawing techniques like lenses or like glasses. Like you can wear glasses that make everything red. You can wear glasses that, put things in shade. Like if it's just almost like a mindset. And starting off with a shading mindset is it's a totally healthy approach. And being able to interchange the ideas of tone versus line, shadow with tone versus shadow with parallel lines versus silhouette lines. And then you can do the same thing with color. All right, so this next one is so ugly that I might have to set the timer for 3 minutes. But I think we'll be in good shape for so we drew the positive shape of the structure with shadow. This next one, we're going to draw the silhouette. So the object itself is not going to get any pencil. So actually basically drawing the background color. It's just, this would be positive. So what we're drawing now is negative. And those aren't perfect terms, but they make sense. And I really am setting the timer for only 3 minutes because I don't want anybody to be too traumatized by this next piece. Whoa. I think it's probably better for everybody that's not in focus. Okay, so I am I'm toning the white area around it. So I'm making like a negative. This is a dark object on a white sheet of paper, and I am going to be inverting the values so that it is it will be a light object up against a dark background. And it's forcing you to see, in a slightly different way. There's the one eye, the other eye, and now we've got the little bandana knot. I wonder if this is like generic. It doesn't even look like, this thing might be so old. I mean, it doesn't, I wonder what year it's from. It doesn't even look like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. See how I'm building up that line by ending each stroke along an imaginary edge? Like you all can do that. Like you don't need a line to show you where the drawing needs to end. Sometimes it's helpful. But this is also a good skill path. And I'm drawing mine off of the TV. It's a very unique experience, actually, looking at the camera and watching my finger. Like I'm not drawing, I'm not looking at the paper. I mean, you can probably tell. And there's this little foot. I love that all of the Pez dispensers have the same little feet at the bottom. And then I saw a TikTok recently. I guess it wasn't a TikTok, but it was like some internet meme where they made it seem like you could take the Pez already in the wrapper and you could put it in, and then you could slam it shut and the wrapper comes off and it's fully loaded. And it's not true. That is a lie. It's an internet lie. I admit. Stacy's in the house now. We'll see if her audio starts to work, but who's Donatella?
Recording in progress. You just got that on? Or did it just come through?
We've been
on my end?
recording from the very beginning.
Oh, I'm glad. So who should I be thanking for that reminder to you?
Actually, one of the parents got on because whose mom was that? Do you guys know? I didn't look at the thing. One of the moms got on and was like, we're sick today. Someone's sick. So can you record?
Oh,
I didn't look and see who it was.
okay.
I will after this though. Okay, yeah, so we're doing silhouette drawing.
Great.
And I made it so that we weren't having to draw this for very long. I actually like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, at least I did. Should we let this be? Let's just let this be. All right. And the next two are probably my favorite objects, but one of them got messed up, and I don't know how it got messed up. It looks like it got hit with we'll save that to the end. The next one is probably my favorite one because I had a whole set. I had a whole set of these Cowboys and Indian figures. But I don't know what the word is. They just went away. I don't know. They like disappeared. Like sometimes things just go away.
It went away.
This is like the last surviving figurine.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
It's not that old though. I mean, we're talking like the 80s. I don't think it's worth it. It's not like it's worth any money or anything. But it's a gunslinger. All right, peeps, let's do it. Okay, so here, the idea, and this is what I was like, I wouldn't say like, this is what I was like visualizing how to teach this one. I was like, how am I gonna do this one? My friend Peter, hold on, don't do it yet. My friend Peter is working for he went to Micah. He's like basically a professional artist now, and he's working for a studio. And it's I gotta find out what the name of it is, but I recorded a couple of his it's like a Christian
That's
based.
exciting.
It really is. The work that he's doing is like is mind-blowing. Is his stuff. Is it all the way back here? No. Sorry, y'all. He did this horse that was running, and it was spectacular. Why is it showing up? I'm so sorry. I don't know where it is. Oh, here it is. Okay, great. This is it. So let me see. So I just pulled these off of so this is he's doing an illustration for, do you guys know about like there's like the sorrowful mysteries, and then like the I don't know, there's like there's the mysteries of the scripture, the life of Jesus, and the sorrowful ones are like, you know, when like basically the crucifixion, but there's like I have to look them up. Peter did a whole piece on it. Anyway, this is like Christ, like exorcising a demon, and he's just got this movement, which is really nice. But the one that I'm shocked to, what I really want to show you about is this one. Do you see how he makes the legs? Okay. Move it forward. Okay, here we go. So the when the legs on the horse are just basic rectangles, it's super complex, but he's just overly simplified it, and that's how you got to do it. And that's what I'm going to do. Do you see how the body of the horse is just a rectangle, and then the neck of the horse is a trapezoid, and the head of the horse is a trapezoid, and the legs are just really, it's almost like a sock puppet. But then when you get those motions together, you can get some really exciting illustration effects. And Jesus in this picture has he's wearing clothes, but you can still see like the play. Look at the straight line on his back from his rib cage, from his armpit all the way to the ground, that epic straight line, and then the two curves on the front. This is like I said, like this is Peter went to Micah. He didn't do the illustration, he did the painting program, but look at the base. Look at Christ's the triangular base of his
Oh,
I mean, it's
yeah.
very, very solid geometry as like the foundation. And then it gets more advanced from there. So anyway, when I was thinking about this figure of the gunslinger, we're just going to make start it off with the most basic shapes, but they're also accurate shapes. So they're the proper height width ratio. So when we go like here, get in focus. Nice. Let's do it. We're going to get a trapezoid for the shoulders, for the torso. And then we can do an oval for the head. Overlaps the body like a little bit. I didn't mean to bend it. Shoot. Let me put this back. Straight. I mean, it doesn't actually matter. Anyway, so we'll go from shoulder to elbow. Use a rectangle. And then we'll see a change of direction. Elbow to wrist. And then we'll use a rectangle for wrist to knuckle. And then this gun, angles out this way. So my dream of teaching this one is that there's all these folds, there's all these wrinkles, there's all these fun details that make him a cowboy. But really what the nature of the exercise is just pure shapes. And I thought like and Peter, just when he shows his work, it's like it's the underpinning. All right, so we got the belt, which is a nice transition from the waist into the legs, basically from the rib cage into the pelvis. And then, if you imagine him wearing boxers, that's where you can kind of separate, the legs. And then we'll go from, the legs down into the knee. and we're not following the fabric. He's wearing chaps. I don't know if you can see this, but there's these leather pants that come up and strap above the knee. So we're following the hips to the knee. So we're looking for the transition from the thighs into the calves. And from this angle, the right leg is a little bit straighter. I should not have put that boxer line in there. Just definitely made it more confusing. So it's knee to ankle. And then we'll use maybe a trapezoid for that foot. Hip to knee, knee to ankle. And the pant leg helps to, show that. And then I'll use a triangle for that foot. Rectangle for the, square for the hand. Rectangle for the gun. Rectangle for the barrel of the gun. There's a beautiful little cowboy hat dip, which is hilarious. And then I'm going to add the trapezoid for the top of the cowboy hat. So now we do have these nice accessories, but I'm telling you, this like simple set of shapes really is kind of what it's all about, especially with drawing figures. Now we can just keep going. Those are the biggest shapes, and there's not that many of them. What do we do? Oval, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So there's 14 shapes that went into the human body as far as having the stick figure. And this is an advanced stick figure. I've had teachers that will teach you to like make a stick figure like this. Let me show you. I'll just draw it down here like there's another gunslinger off in the distance. They'll do head, they'll do rib cage, they'll do pelvis, and then they go shoulder to elbow, elbow to wrist, and they actually draw these straight lines and really make a stick figure. If you can see the two-dimensional shapes, it's this would be the first. This would be kind of what you think through first, and then this is what you'd think through second. From one-dimensional marks to two-dimensional shapes, and then of course you get into three-dimensional forms. And let me put in a couple extra details in his outfit, and then we'll move into, we'll turn this one that's two-dimensional shapes into some suggestions of the third dimension. All right, I'm going to see a triangle for this collar. I guess this leather jacket wraps across the front, and it's got a couple buttons, which are nice circles. He's got his holsters, which I'm going to use as trapezoids attached to those thighs. That's fun. I'm just going to use an L shape for the nose. You could put a little dot for the mouth, but he's got this like crazy Western handlebar mustache. So good. The eyes, you could put the eyes in there, but I think they're going to be mostly in shadow from the brim of the hat. The brim of the hat has a little liner on it. Howdy, partner. Wrong saloon.
I thought
You're
you
in
were going to say rawhide.
Mhm. Right. So I guess he'd be up against the wall with the shadows like that. He's like back is against the wall. He's got nowhere to go. I like that. Again, we have a little bit of we got a little bit of help from the figure that we had, the little teddy. Stacy, we drew a little teddy bear, a Christmas teddy bear.
Aw,
I know, he was actually kind of cute. Way cuter than I remember. I think it was a Christmas ornament. But we've got the left side, everything that's left and below is going to be in shadow. So you can start to kind of map out some of these darker shapes, give some dimension. I'm almost making this little arm here. I'm almost turning it into a block, where the underside is in shadow and the top is in light. I guess that kind of works down here too. There's some folds. It's the underside of the fold that gets the shadow. So you can see, you imagine the fold is angled up towards the light, and then it curls under and gets the shadow. Curled is like faces up, and then ripples under. Is up in the light and then ripples underneath to get the shadow. That's nice. Same thing with his collar. It's got this little collar that flaps over. It's light up at the top and then it flaps over to get the shadow. The cool thing about, whenever mouths are touching, when you're not mouths, but that sounds gross. Whenever like lips are touching on one person's mouth, the upper lip and the lower lip, in your mouth is a hole. So when your lips touch, there are two objects closing. So there's no light that can get in. It closes off all the light. And whenever there's a crease or a connection or a touching like that, there's usually a line or some kind of shade. So like the corner of your mouth is like this crevice. It's like a crack, and it always gets, dark. It always gets darker. And there's like places on the body that are like that. And, one of them is the armpit. So when you're drawing figures, you almost like, you can never really go wrong with darkening the area of the armpit, because it's like the arm comes in and touches the torso. So there's this one, the arm is touching the body. And even if it's spread out, it's still, it's like it's deep in there, and and it's almost always dark. So just as a rule of thumb, when you're sketching, like look for areas that do conventionally get dark, so that you can like you almost like you're guaranteed to get that there's a dark note in there. Also underneath, in the neck area, like under the chin. This guy's legs are kind of spread out, but it happens, between the legs, where the left leg meets the right leg. And then obviously where the feet are in contact with the ground. That's like probably the most obvious moment of connection, and probably the most important for a figure, like where they're standing. Go in and like nail down some of that darkness in there. So yeah. The underside of the forearm is in shadow. The underside of the butt of the gun. The underside of the wrist. Just like looking for dark areas. The brim of the hat. The whole point of the brim is to block the sun from getting into your eyes. So you can darken that. Nice. Ooh, that's interesting. Okay, so if we incorporate a couple of the notions of what we were just, basically the two other, the silhouette drawings with the tone. If you look at the left arm, his right arm, the left arm, basically this whole arm is dark up against the light. And then if you look at, the rib cage here, the rib cage is, you can define the silhouette of the rib cage by the cast shadow. So in order for me to draw the shadow, I'm using that technique where I'm not using the line. I'm just trying to come in and draw that, the using tone as in order to draw the shape. That must be why that technique is used, because when you're drawing shadows, you don't really want to use those hard lines. That's cool. And look at the awkwardness of the hand and the gun, the shadow. This one looks like this shadow looks like a hand holding a gun. Where this side, it's a little bit more foreshortened. Maybe I should make it look more like a gun. Interesting. You know, rather than, so that's the shape of the, the shadow. Here's the shape of the far side of that leg. I'm actually drawing positively now. I can't, I just keep saying howdy, partner.
Rawhide.
All right. Oh yeah, look at this, the little base. So now I'm moving into the realm of, I'm copying, a toy. This shadow would never, if this was a story, like if this was an illustration for a story, the shadow wouldn't exist. But if I'm copying a toy, it would. All right. Oh my gosh. People, if my plug came undone and I'm really low. I might have saved it from turning off. Usually if it gets down to 3%, it starts to flicker. Sorry about that. All right, so Stacy's heard me say this probably a million times, but you want to squint your eyes at this little figure, and squinting your eyes just like centering your focus, find where the absolute darkest parts are, and then hit them. And like, it's called punching your darks. And I'm seeing a note here in this armpit. I'm seeing a note in the collar. I'm seeing two little notes in the eyes and in the brow, the belly, the fold that's near the belly, the shadow that's underneath the belt buckle, which I hadn't even focused on at all, the far side of the wrist on this part of the gun, maybe even the bottom of the gun at that one point. Look at the bottom of the holster. I didn't even notice the holster until I was contemplating, these darkest elements. There's this really dark note on the far side, little dark note on that. And it should, in theory, this just makes make the whole composition jump, kind of spring off the page a little bit. And it can reveal some of the things that you may not have considered before. So I do appreciate I do appreciate that this trip we're taking. So Stacy, I've got, how my parents are moving.
Yes.
I got that. My mom put this bag together of random objects that I still do get kind of sentimental about certain objects.
Mhm.
But it's hard to tell. There's not necessarily, I get attached because of probably their aesthetic beauty and,
Yeah.
like a memory, I mean, if like they're connected to a positive memory or a person. So I like memorabilia, and my mom knows that. So she'd like collected all these things that she knew were mine. I'm actually not emotionally attached really to any of them, which is interesting. So I have this whole bag. I guess the thing I'm most attached to would be this guy. And if I had the whole set, there were like horses, and there were Indians with like chiefs with like big feather dresses, and like there were army guys that were like laying on the ground. You know, they were, cowboys that were like shooting in a prone position.
And she just came
I mean-
upon them, huh?
Yeah, just in cleaning up, they're because they're moving.
Right.
Not all these
Oh,
random
that's
ones.
so cool.
Okay, let me take this away. I just want to objectively look at my drawing and see if I can tell it's missing anything. I could use some details on the guns, make them look more like guns. I could finish the holsters. Okay, cool. I'll put it back. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I did it for myself. I just wanted
I
like
got
sometimes
really
sometimes
worried.
you just have to pull. You have to pull back and just look at what you did, and not be too attached to the. You just don't want to get too attached to the reference. And it's easy to get obsessed with the object when really it really should be about the drawing. There's like a cuff in the jacket. Some wrinkles over here. And there's details I'm putting onto the gun that are not there. And that's okay. Holster. I didn't see any of the creases on the pants. Those creases on the pants are awesome. It makes his shows that his like he's got a wide stance. It emphasizes his wide stance. And it echoes the nature of the folds that are in the jacket.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna make these chaps go up high. Some more delicate folds at the ankles. All right. Now my next question is, did we draw a nutcracker in this class? Not yet. Cool. Okay, let's get one more of these guys in here. How'd you guys do, by the way? Can I see? Can we maybe?
Trevor.
Does anybody want to show?
Ellie, did
stop.
you have your hand up?
She looked like she was.
No,
ready.
I go.
Okay, great.
Let's just do a rundown. It's like 11:30. What the heck? This class.
Oh, Ellie. Hold that. Oops, sorry, I lost you. 1 second, Ellie. Had ya? I lost ya. Very nice.
No, I got you next. You want to show it? Good job. I mean, it's a warm up. It's a warm up.
Yeah, sure. That's my little cowboy dude.
Oh yeah.
Hold that up
Yeah.
just a little bit, Noah. Yeah,
Howdy part.
right there. Thank you.
You're in a position you could make like his face, the oval for his face seems a little big, but that's good because you could give him like a bigger beard, like a fuller beard if you wanted to. Janai, you want to show?
Yeah,
Oh, geez.
I get it. Sorry, hold on.
No, you're fine.
And
I didn't mean to put everybody on the spot. I wasn't sure. I didn't really plan on this. Oh my God, look,
If-
like the bear is so cute. Oh my gosh, the bear is so cute.
So cute.
Missile
And you wanna
projectile.
really,
Yeah, and your
Yeah.
cowboy's great.
Yeah, hold
Thanks.
that cowboy up again, Janaya. Please, and freeze. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Simone, you up for it? Replace pan.
Oh,
Mhm.
Simone, where are you?
So
There you
clean.
Let's see.
Very nice. Oh man,
Thank you.
you
Look at
could
that
turn
bear.
that bear. You could turn that bear into like an actual Christmas card. So
Very
nice.
sweet.
Madeline, I got you next.
Madeline,
I like
hold that nice
I
and
like that
still.
heavy. Yeah, the heavy pencil is nice too. What is it, like a 5B or 4B? Do you know? Oh, it's one of those. Those are the best. Big
Mechanical.
pencils. Nice page. Sweet. Thanks. Sebastian, how about you, dude? Replace pan. And he did it. He did the exercise. Oh man. So maybe we should have just drawn the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle regular. Oh, we go back, kind of see the cowboy one more time. Yeah, that cowboy, that looks like an actual sculpture. So like really good dimensionality. Cool. Figure to ground relationship. I'm into it. All right, great. That's fun. Maybe what are we at now? 11:30. You guys want to sketch some bears? Let's sketch some bears. We have let me go back to the screen share. I did have I was kind of excited about the Nutcracker, but look at his face. It looks like he got
Oh,
marred.
Nutcracker.
Yeah, it's like the Nutcracker
had
meets Phantom of the Opera.
He had an incident.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
Yeah. Can I take a picture of your cowboy, please?
You may. Oh wait, sorry, hold on, I just bumped it.
You did.
I feel like
You
now
tell
that
me
it's,
when are you set?
oh,
All right, hold
okay.
on one second, if you don't mind. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Is this, I don't think this camera, I thought maybe for a second this camera was also a, the video camera was also like a photographer. There must be a way I could do that. That's okay. All right. So some of the objects that we didn't get to, which I'll show just so you can imagine drawing them. There was a keychain football made out of plastic. There was a crazy plastic eyeball, which I will not make anybody make.
I remember those.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't. I have no idea what it's from.
Yeah.
But it's
I
got a
do.
pupil, iris, and then a black rim around the iris. Yeah, this thing is kind of funny. And then I have a Tommy gun. It's like a they're just like boy toys. I don't even know what this figure goes to. It's like a hacky sack. Anyway, we don't. Oh, this ought to be a good one. What's this one? There's Luke Skywalker and Han Solo. Skywalker, Han Solo. Skywalker, Solo. It's another suction cup. This was a bullet to it was like a gun that shot these discs. Tell you, the 90s, man. A lot of guns in the 90s, apparently. All right. All right, so this book is from back in the day. I don't know if we're gonna go over the entire book, but. Does anybody have this book, Big Bad Bruce? So he's a bear. And I guess he's a little mischievous. And he started rolling these rocks at all the animals. Poor rabbit, geez. Then he thinks it's so funny. And he does this huge rock and he knocks over a tree. He still thinks it's funny. There's an owl in there. The trees are actually awesome. The rocks are awesome. Everybody's like worked up. And then there's the witch that lives in the woods alone with the black cat. And she tells him off. Now, the witch's house is actually awesome too. I would draw that house. She looks like a you know what she's based off of? She's based off of Gargamel from from the Smurfs. She's like a female Gargamel. And I guess she puts together a potion, makes a pie. Ooh, that pie looks, I would draw that. That pie sitting on top of the tree that he broke down. And then he eats the pie and he's feeling all good about himself. And then this one is actually a little trippy. So the bear goes to sleep and then he shrinks down to a little teeny bear. I love the pine cones next to it. That's like futurism right there. There's like a whole art movement based off of, movements happening in a static picture. And then all the animals that used to be terrified of him are now larger than he is. I love this. That could be a fun thing. I love the repeated, it's one object, but three separate expressions. So yes, there's three, but they basically tell multiple emotions that can be happening, in intersections, like in at separate times. So this is this is technically two rabbits in the story, but it's the one rabbit having expressions at two different stages. So you can, again, passage of time being expressed through similar, if not the same, images. And then they like take out some rage on him and chase him out, which is it's a little bit sad, but justice is coming. So then he jumps into the water, he's floating away. The frog's like, that's not good, not good. And he saves himself. And the frog is, I like that the frog is a curious little kind of like a silent observer. He's kind of like watching out, but the bear winds up handling it himself. He runs into the owl, words and words. It's dusk, so we have like a passage of time, throughout the story. We'd been daytime, so now it's dusk turning into night. And then now we have nighttime. Wow. So now we have a separate light source. Instead of the sun being the light source, we have the lantern. The lantern's creating these like harsh shadows. This could even be played up. I could imagine this being played up even a little bit more with like, higher contrast. It still feels a little light, but I think the main mode of executing these illustrations is color pencil. So it's like pen and color pencil. So interesting. Like, I mean, this person made a ton of money off of this book. And the cat picks him up, brings him back to the house, and then she gives him some food. And I guess there's like a Stockholm syndrome effect happening here. And so now it's the next morning, get some food. The morning bird comes in, beautiful flowers, beautiful ship painting. I love we're inside the shack. We have this like gorgeous cast iron stove, old-fashioned cast iron stove. You know, very, it's just that's such a nice touch. And I guess this guy has not yet learned his lesson because now he's out terrorizing the insects with pebbles. I was like, I looked at this when I was like prepping for this class. I'm like, that is not like, that's not like the lesson we're trying to, I mean, where's the moral of the story here? He's just, now she's gonna bake him another miniature pie. He's gonna turn into like an ant-sized bear. Anyway, so that was the story of Big Bad Bruce. And I don't know. I'm just like, I'm trying to figure out which one is my favorite. There's so many cute scenes. There's the bear. I don't know. I think this one might be. He's so terrified though. That's what I love when he's little, but he's so, it's like each one of them is so sad. You feel bad for the little guy, even though he's Big Bad Bruce. I just think about Bailey. What if Bailey was outside? Look at him, so scared.
Yeah.
Now he's getting manhandled by that cat. This one's probably pretty cute. The insects. Any suggestions? Anybody fall in love with any of these pictures? There's also this book, but I want to save this book for later. This one actually won the Caldecott Award, but it's I think it's going to be a little later. Mhm. Mhm. I think we have time for this one. Okay. Oh my gosh. This is a still Bob. That is like a straight masterpiece. But I want to do the bear. Let's do this. Let's do the shocking one. So cute. He does look just like Bailey though. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Actually, let's do the bear first. I'll zoom in. We'll do the bear and then we'll zoom out. We'll do the three birds. That'll be plenty. Okay, great. On your marks. Do you guys have pen? Do you have pen? I can't decide if I should do it in pen or not. I always say that. All right, so anticipate. Who knows if we have time for all this? But maybe we will. So just let me show you both pages at once. This is one spread. Focus, please. Okay. So we have this long tree on the right side, then we have the bear, and then we have this like layering of, you know, these various vectors, like the gazing direction. Whole bunch of like deathbed scenes, especially like among saints and things. Like they'll have like a one central figure, and then everybody's like looking towards that one figure. I mean, all eyes are on this bear, and you know, there's a vector that comes down here. This vector comes straight across, so you can actually see that the whole composition is actually encapsulated in a mother triangle, and yeah, I mean, even like these bunny rabbits are inside of a triangle. You know, these figures are all inside of a triangle. So I guess what I'm saying is that if we're start on the right, you know, we can even draw the tree. Maybe we'll draw the tree, and then we'll move from the main subject to the left. So instead of starting from the left and going to the right, let's start on the right, and then we'll move away from that. Cool. I think we'll get done what we can get done. It's fine. Maybe we might surprise ourselves how much can actually get accomplished. Okay, so this is straight for me. So the camera will then be straight this way. Pop that up. Still not straight. This is straight for me. That's straight. All right, cool. Yeah, wow, wonderful. Okay, so back in the spirit of what we were just talking about, if you look at the straight line, he is a vector angled back. Like if you follow the center, a lot of times when you're looking for center of balance, you look at the middle of the head, and you see how it relates to right between the feet. And he is, you know, I'm starting here with the head, of course, and then I'm looking for that feet, and there is this vector that he's angled back, you know, kind of far, because all of these animals are imposing on him. So we've got the circle for the head, and he is like small. So now he is down looking up instead of being above everybody and looking down. So we've got our traditional, you know, rectangle for the upper snout, and he's in awe. So his mouth is wide open. I'm going to use a triangle for his lower mouth. So we have the bottom of the rectangle, we have the top of the triangle, and then we can, you know, make that, you can like kind of see the inside of his mouth right there. You can see that like shadow, and he's frowning. I mean, he's like not happy about this. You can almost imagine that he's wearing sunglasses, because the way that bears are, like there's a flat head, and then a ridge for their eyes, and then their snout comes out. So their snout comes out, there's this little ridge for the eyes, and then the flat head. And grizzly bears have really a long distance, even more than humans, a long distance between their eyes and their ears. Their ears are really far back. And I've actually did like chainsaw carving for bears. I studied in Pennsylvania and like logging country around Ridgeway, like northwest Pennsylvania. And when you block off the wood, you cut down one side, which is the back of the bear, and then almost immediately you get the ears, and then you get this long distance from the ears. Let me show it to you like this. So if you had this log that you're carving into, you slice off the back, and then the ears are here, and then you get this long ridge for the top of the head, and then you angle in for the eyes. This is like the log looking down at it, and then you get the snout. So this is like the bear's nose is here, the bear's eyes are here looking up, and then you get this incredible long distance from the eyes back to the ears. So the reason I bring that up is that we're going to put those two little dots for the eyes, and then we're going to pull this head back. And I actually I didn't mess it up that much, but you know, you think about like a dog, you know, dog ears go forward, and then they get in trouble and they push them down, you know, and like cats do the same thing. Like the ears can go forward, and then they get like scared or something, and then they turn them around and place them back. And part of the emotion of this bear is that his ears are not standing up. They're kind of like, you know, they're kind of turned down. So look at how flat that is. And actually he even looks more scared, because I flattened mine even more. So I gave him a little bit more, made him a little scared. They've got these big fluffy cheeks, And then usually the bears, have these epically thick necks, but I think he's made this bear look a little more feeble. So he's got kind of a skinny neck. All right, so this is where we get to this vector of the body. So the body being tilted back. So as I do the oval for the body, I'm kind of really be intentional about, his shoulders are kind of far back, and then his pelvis, comes forward. So he's, he's back on his heels. So this oval encapsulates the rib cage and the pelvis. You can imagine where the waist is. You can actually like kind of imagine if you had a belt on. And we kind of go here. But we'll do his little tush. And then from that belt area, it's going to go hip to knee, knee to ankle, hip to knee to ankle. And, bears, they really have, they usually walk on their toes, but he's back on his heels, so to speak. And so he's like back, his paws are really down here, but we'll see how that, we'd have to look at the other ones. Hip to knee, knee to ankle. So it goes the front knee, and then it goes his belly, and then it's going to be the far side leg, far side knee. Really kind of impressive as far as the perspective goes. This artist really makes the far side foot smaller to make it feel like it's going back in space. Cool. Remember, pencil is like the glorious phase where you only have to get like an 80. Honestly, sometimes you don't even have to get an 80%, as far as accuracy goes. Usually if you get less than 80, you get frustrated with your progress and you might quit. So you want to keep like, there's this idea where it says practice makes perfect. And then, you can modify it, which is what my family did, it says perfect practice makes perfect. So you want to think about the pencil as practice, but, not that it doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, try to make your pencil as perfect as possible. Shoulder to elbow, elbow to wrist. And then he's a little limp wristed, which is also part of, like a feebleness and a weakness. Usually when you're limp, when your wrists are limp, it's a show of being passive. And so all of the signs here, oh wow, look at that. So you do get a little bit of the shoulder on the far side, shoulder, the elbow disappears behind the belly, and then elbow to wrist, and then wrist to knuckles, and then it turns into bear claws. Nito DeVito. So my idea of this, the perfect practice makes perfect. My drawing is not perfect, so I'm gonna say practice makes perfect today. And I'm gonna just continue to clean up my pencil sketch and try to make it as perfect as possible, so that when I come in with my pen, I'm going to be, certain that it's up to my standards. That I don't make any, because I can't change or modify the pen once it goes down. There's no bear tail, but I'm gonna put a little tail down here.
Yeah, it needs that.
That being said, I mean, he's probably tucking his tail. The fact that you can't see his tail might also be like a sign, like when, dogs get in trouble, they just, their tail goes all the way underneath. It's so sad. Oh gosh. Happens in puppies all the time because the puppies are always getting into trouble. Yes. All right. So I think I made this one foot a little bit too high. So I'm going to drop this foot down. I hope this fixes my problem. My legs didn't look quite right. I don't know why.
Yeah, I've got to do mine all
Yeah,
over.
I'll figure it out. I'm gonna zoom. I can't zoom in, but the bear's nose. A lot of times it's like a Superman symbol. You know, whatever diamond shape that is, and then you want to add a thickness to that, and then you want to put. You know, there's like the center of that Superman symbol is like a crease that leads you into the philtrum. And the philtrum will give you where where the mouth, where the upper lip is. So on either side of the center, you're going to get a nostril hole. And technically it does curl up like a dog's nose on each side. So the abbreviated version of that is we're going to get the top of the nose, the side of the nose, S curving in with the thickness. And then I'll find the middle and put 2 little dots for the nostrils. And this artist does give us the philtrum. And then the lip is a flat front. And there are 2 bare teeth as well, as far as those details go. Cool. There is a sclera, you know, so there's the white, there's the iris and the pupil, which is one dark, and then there's the white of the eye, which is sclera. I've been looking at some of these illustrations. I was looking at the Dürer from last week and how he does his animals. He has these like the cleanest shapes, like really pure geometry, kind of like how we've been sketching here on this more casual illustration. And I thought of this term called like if you have a textural, you know what the silhouette line is, like I built the arm, but like you want to make it look like fur. So you modify the shape of the silhouette, and I was calling it like tickling, like tickle the side to make it feel like a texture. So you know what the shape is, you know where the line is, but you can give it, you give it the type of material, whether it's fabric, whether it's feathers, whether it's bear's fur versus rabbit fur. Yes. All right, cool. I'm going to do a quick one. I'm going to make it small, but I want you all to be able to see it. The tree trunk. It might be more than the tree is more than what it might seem. I'm gonna make a small tree over here, but obviously the shape of the tree is going to be very classic, where you have the trunk, which is a vertical, and then it transitions into the ground, and the forms where it transitions into the ground are really wonderful. So you have this like ridge, and this is where I'm gonna build the side of this. It's almost like a prism. So imagine that there's like the top of this root system and the side of the root. And then it's to a lesser degree, there's the front and then the side of that root system. So things like that. And the tree is kind of made up of these channels. And then there's this one seen on the side. And then you get the side of it here. So the main little ridge here, the prism, again, you're tickling the outside because we know what the 3D form is, but it's got to look like roughage from bark. So we're trying to you tickle the outside to make it feel like a bark set of marks, even though underneath of it is this geometry. And then the page ends, so we don't see the other side, but that's how this goes up. And there's a light side and a shadow side, and that will carry through the entire arrangement. So cute. We started with the actor, which is the bear, And now we're kind of moving into the stage set, which is the tree, and the props, which is the pine cone, and the stage itself, which is the dirt, on the ground. So there's some grass back here. I wish that we would have side of me wishes we would have started with the stage and then added the characters, but I don't care. The bear is just too cute, and the whole point is to draw the bear, so I'm not that upset. All right, let me move out a little bit. If you want to hit yeah, we're not going to be able to do it. I was hoping that we'd be able to get to the animals, but I think I'm just going to ink the bear. At least attempt to ink the bear in the next minute. That pine cone is the bomb. Graphite and ink have a wonderful relationship, and it's because the graphite, if you come at graphite with any kind of particle, it's going to deny the particle from attaching to the paper. But if you come at the graphite with like a liquid, the liquid just like the ink just soaks around and through the graphite, and it attaches to the paper. So they are kind of compatible on the same surface. Of course, it's the more graphite there is, the harder the pen, the more ink you have to put down to soak in. But it's not that bad. So you can lighten the graphite as needed, but you can block in. And then the other thing about it, why they're so friendly too, is that when you erase, you can, after the ink is on there, you can then erase the graphite, and the ink stays right where it's supposed to, and the graphite is, leaves. So they serve the piece well when working together. Oh, that's interesting too. What does it with the graphite and this, like, I don't want to call it irony, but it's an interesting process that you work with, because the color pencils don't work well with graphite. Color pencils are basically pigment and wax mixed together, almost like crayons. Slightly different component, but the ink can hold up against the color pencils, but you have to remove the graphite, because the color pencils and the graphite don't work well together, mainly because the graphite is a metal, and it denies the color pencils from the fibers of the paper and holding on, and it also it's almost like as a rebuttal to like making the paper unfriendly to the color pencil. The color pencil, because of the intensity of the color, makes the graphite feel very drab, turns gray and muddy and dirty. So it's like the graphite just dies, like it just falls apart whenever color pencil comes into the situation. Now, there are ways, I mean, it has been, there have been artists that have made graphite and color pencils work together, but it's really is the exception to the rule. Then you're always fighting against their polarizing nature. Okay, cool. So I'm trying to get to a point where my the pen is like for sure dry, because I don't want to come back in and erase the graphite when the ink is still wet and then smudge it everywhere. So I might just put some touches down here with the bear's body and then erase the face and then hope it doesn't smudge. Good boy. Yeah, look how scared he is. I tried to make him look more scared. I'm playing up the emotion. All right, here's the moment of truth. Oh gosh, so interesting. So it's amazing how much work the graphite actually does. So when I erase the graphite, the ink is there, but you can see how little, how much I forgot. Yeah, I did not do the other tooth. So I can replace that. I didn't draw I guess some of this stuff I'll have to handle in color pencil. It's funny because now the bear kind of looks naked. You know, it looks really undone. And it's because the graphite really made the tones. So I will have to come in with a colored pencil and just getting into the relationship between the graphite, the pen and the pencil, the color pencil that is, and making them all work together is just part of the game, part of the art game.
So you're
All right,
saying
it's
the bear
all-
is looking bare,
The bear's what?
looking
Ah,
rather bare.
yes. The bear is bare. All right. Let's do a quick. How'd you do? I'm gonna stop the share. Stacy, I actually have you first. Do you want to show?
Oh, sure. Well, here's my,
Cool. Ellie, you're next. Oh my goodness, yeah, there's your cowboy.
cowboy. Shoot 'em up.
Ow. Wow. Good work.
Thank you. And I didn't, get too far on my bear, but
Oh, you got very far. That looks great. That tree looked awesome.
thank
Oh,
you.
poor Tuk Tuk. It looks just like Tuk Tuk. Good boy.
It does?
Yes, it looks exactly like Tuk Tuk.
Tuck,
All
tuck.
right, Ellie, you're up.
Oh,
Yes. Oh, you
and
did
you
get
did
that.
the color.
Yeah, the relationship between the bird and the bear is key, and I totally didn't do it.
You got it.
Maybe we can come back to this. You guys remind me.
I forgot the bird entirely.
I didn't forget it. I just didn't get to it.
I forgot it.
It's like such an important. It's so having it blocked in, it makes the bear make so much more sense.
Mhm.
Janaya, are you there? I got you next, Simone, and then Sebastian.
Gianni's up. Did you say? Oh, Simone.
No, Simone.
Oh, wait.
Simone. Or no, Janaya up. Sorry.
Wait.
Janaya.
Oh, okay.
Who's-
Sorry, Simone. Sorry, I didn't mean to go. Oh, go.
Simone, I
those
saw it. It was beautiful. I got to see it again. Oh, hold that right there, Janaya. Nice. Nice.
Yeah, and as you go forth, just try to analyze both limbs, like the right arm and the left arm, and the right leg and the left leg, and just try to make them close in size. And yeah, I know it's not finished yet, so but the face has so much expression. I might steal that idea. I probably will steal that idea. Okay, Simone, you're up. Please.
There we go. Oh, freeze that one. Oh, sweet.
It
I
was a
love
little,
it.
it was a little out of focus. Can you try it again? It was a little out of focus.
Little blurry. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe back
Much
it up a
better.
little.
Much better. Thank you.
Ooh, and you got some nice, shadows in there too. The tail works really well. And actually the line of the jaw line looks really good in that position too. Cool, good work. Sebastian. Oh, good boy.
Oh, and you got
Yes,
the bird, and you are
he
moving
did
so
get the
fast.
bird.
Freeze that, please. Thank you.
Yeah, it looks nice. You want to make sure you have the belly come in front of the far side arm, so it doesn't look like there's an arm growing out of its belly. And then I feel like I didn't look at you. I think yours had it, but I'm just like looking at mine. You know, the bear's right side leg is in front of the belly, which is in front of the far side leg, and like you could be really intentional about, you know, the layering of those, and definitely the belly. In fact, it looks like there's a little bit of shadow on the forearm, you know, kind of pushing the arm behind the belly, in the example at least. Madeline, you're up. Good job though, and the punching your darks was really nice too. Please.
Oh, that's really still. I didn't get Benny. All of Benny. Hold on, hold on. Oh my God, Benny, the better behaved. Oh, you took it away. Okay, I'll read it later. I'll read it later.
The bear, he looks like he's kind of standing on his tippy toes. If you make the feet on a horizontal, he'll feel a little bit more grounded. But you can also make them not on the full level, and it would make him feel like he's falling back even more. Super fun though. Okay, cool.
Trevor,
All right, guys, it's yeah.
may I see yours once again, please, before we leave?
Screen share.
And while you're pulling that up, everybody have a great week. And bring that up a skosh and freeze it. Excellent. Oh, and look at the pine cone. I really want to get that pine cone in.
Look how confrontational this is.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know. It's the only way I could fit it on the page though.
Excellent.
All right, y'all. That was fun.
Nice. Thank you so much, Trevor.
See you next week,
Thank
y'all.
you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Email me if you have any questions or you have anything that you want to specifically do. Oh, that's it. Stacy.